On this week's episode, we talk about the new film, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
And other pop culture news.
Should we start with a spoiler alert?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, spoiler alert.
So new Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, Salma Hayek, and also Morgan Freeman, and who else? Antonio Banderas.
Oh, how could I forget?
Yeah, it's this spy action movie. Bodyguard, Hitman movie. Sequel to the movie named The Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna jump in here and say these people know how to name a sequel. None of this like just slap a 2 on the end of it. No. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. We're already curious about what will be the next one. Anyways, so in the original one, Samuel L. Jackson was a hitman, but he knows important things.
I think so.
And they hired a bodyguard to take him to, I think it's
The Hague, right?
Yeah, Hayek. Yeah. So he can speak.
He's going to testify
and reveal a bigger bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And The Hague, that's where they try like the international war criminals, right? So when we say bigger bad guy, we mean like big bad guy.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. On the second one, we find Ryan Reynolds, who was the bodyguard in the first one. He lost. I mean, he's having dreams that he's the best bodyguard on the planet, but he's actually not. And he lost his license, and he's having psychological problems. He's seeing an analyst, and he decided, following the counsel of the analyst, he decided to go to Capri, right? Capri?
Yeah, Capri, like the pants.
Like the pants.
Yeah.
To take a vacation, to find himself, a sabbatical.
No guns, no blood.
No bodyguarding. Yeah.
And while they're enjoying some music, Salma Hayek shows up. Guns blazing. Salma Hayek plays Samuel L. Jackson's wife. We saw her in the first one, so she's not a new character, but obviously she's featured a little bit more in this one because it's the hitman's wife's bodyguard. So she shows up, guns blazing, lots of blood, lots of guns, snatches poor Ryan Reynolds out of his lovely, restful sabbatical that he's finally starting to feel some peace, and says, "The mafia's got my husband, you've got to help me rescue him. He said I have to come get you." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, you wanted me?" And so they go off and rescue Samuel L. Jackson. But again, more guns, more violence. The sabbatical's not going great.
Yeah, and they go out through Italy to look for Samuel L. Jackson. They find him, actually, right in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, why the heck you call this guy? I told you call anyone.
But
Michael Bryce.
Yeah.
Anyways, so meanwhile, there's this Bond villain in Greece.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
Playing a Greek guy named Aristotle Papadopoulos.
That wants to take down Europe because Europe is kicking Greece in the butt. It's like, no, get out of here.
Yep.
We're causing problems.
Sanctions, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So he's like, no, this is the birthplace of culture.
The cradle of Western civilization.
Yeah, democracy and yada. So it's like, nah, let's destroy them before they destroy us. And so the Interpol gets involved. And asks for the help of this crazy trio that, by the way, Samuel L. Jackson and Salma Hayek were in Italy for a honeymoon.
And very actively, athletically, loudly trying to conceive.
Yeah. So, Interpol get those guys, like, hey, now you guys gonna work for us because you killed our
that's why they're informant.
Yes. So, and then they use them. So, okay, you're gonna go to this place. You're gonna buy this device, The bad guy wants this device. He's gonna buy it, so he can find who he is and what he wants. So they go through this some Italian place. I can't remember the name.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, and when there, they because the guy died, the informant that would buy.
Died,
they use Salma Hayek as his British girlfriend, and Salma Hayek is nothing British on this one. So they go there, and Reynolds is working as her bodyguard, and Samuel Jackson is out, a sniper position, protecting them. So when they are doing the transaction, one of the henchman, one of the bad guys, associates is like, "Hey, you are Michael Bryce, but your bodyguard, but your license was revoked." It's like everybody knows.
Wait a second, and then you tried to bodyguard someone without a license, which is just ridiculous. And then, oh boy, they cross the line and say that, wait, Salma Hayek, she's way too old to be one of this guy's mistresses. And that's when she loses it. Totally breaks character. The guns come out, and everything falls to pieces.
Yeah, it's a big fight in the club, and she has the suitcase that she has with the device. She has this bracelet that if she gets too far from the thing, the bracelet blows up. So in this sequence that remind me of Temple of Doom, like people running and she's trying to get in the suitcase.
Yeah, it is similarly chaotic.
And they finally get away.
Yes.
And they in Italy. And then they go. Reynolds is trying to get his separate ways from this crazy couple. And he asking for a sign. Please give me a sign. And the sign, like when he got out of the road, was like Tuscany. And then a bus drives by. It's like, visit Tuscany.
And he's like, no, really, just a sign, just any sign.
And then a plane with those banners like, Tuscany is the place to be now. So they go to Tuscany.
And we find out the reason he was so reluctant to go to Tuscany and why it's so significant is because that's where his dad lives. His dad, who is the ultimate AAA, super ultra legendary bodyguard. They buzz in. They get into the living room. There's like all this memorabilia from this long career of bodyguarding, and this figure walks in, backlit, so we can't see who it is, and this voice with a profound gravitas speaks like, "Hello, son. Welcome back, and of course you'll always be my son." And the light changes. We realize it's Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman is Ryan Reynolds' dad. And this Samuel L. Jackson just can't handle it.
Your father is, and it's like, yes, he's a legend.
Yeah. Like, no, but your dad is.
Yeah.
That's
so
great.
his father's black, and that blows some Kincaid.
Yeah, Kincaid.
Daryl Kincaid's mind.
Turns out he's a stepdad, so it's
and we find out how the mother died, causing a trauma on Michael Bryce's character. She dies when they go to a carnival, a park sort, and he asks for ice cream, for gelato. So he goes get gelato, and meanwhile some big guy is riding one of the rides, and it breaks, and he falls, and he crushes her to death.
Yeah, and she'd always called Michael her little bodyguard, and so we see like this is like the
He failed.
Yeah, this is like the not transformative, defining. This is like the defining moment for him. So like all of his neuroses about safety, his obsession with being a bodyguard, but like the best bodyguard ever, comes from this moment. Yeah. So his dad says, "Don't worry about it, son. I'll get you guys to a safe house. I've got a guy who can get this TNT bracelet off." I'll talk to the board. We'll get your license reinstated. Everything's gonna be okay. He's like, oh, thank you, Papa. You're wonderful. And he's like, here, take the Jaguar. The Jaguar I couldn't even look at as a kid. He goes, yeah, you can drive it. So everything is great. They get to the safe house. Oh, look at these beautiful views. And then tranquilizer darts. Everybody goes down.
Yeah, they've been taken. And they've been taken by the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that Morgan Freeman, the father, was not such a good father. He actually was the security, the head of security for the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he delivered them to the bad guy. Once that happened, we find out that Salma Hayek had a thing with him in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But she fell from a yacht and lost her memory, just like, overboard, in the mansion overboard. And she always wanted a kid, and he's like, I can't give you a kid. Your husband,
kid and stability, and
your husband can. He's wanted, and he can give you a kid. When you guys were in a honeymoon, he disappeared because he went to a fertility clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And then she is like, okay, I'm gonna stay with you. She stays with the bad guy and leave the other two to fend for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Which they do. They escape, and he tries to talk to her, but she says no through a window. And both heroes walk away, and one goes to a bar. Start a fight and drink, and one goes to a gelato store and buy gelato.
Yes, it is at this moment that Michael Bryce just completely breaks, shatters. He eats a whole thing of gelato. This has been a huge trigger for him. He eats this whole thing of gelato. He asks for cocaine. He's like shattering, like, oh man, he's a mess. He gets into a car and he doesn't put on a seatbelt. Darius Kincaid is watching this like spiral into insanity. He does put on a seatbelt, very tellingly. Anyway, so they've got to decide what to do now, because Europe is about to be destroyed. Their relationship is falling apart. His dad's a bad guy. His wife is in love with a bad guy. Like, oh man, everything's looking pretty dark.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Interpol get them. And get them back. Is like, hey, we have to do this, and what are we gonna do? And so they formulate a plan to get the bad guy in his yacht by the coast of Italy. It's still Italy, right? It's not Greece.
I think so. Yeah, it is. It is
the
all.
villain is Greece. Anyways,
Yeah.
So and then they go confront the bad guy, and once they get there, they're pretty successful. They use the strategies of his father as a great bodyguard, uses like a decoy, and the 3 levels of security. So they get there, they fight through that, and he meets his father, and they fight, father and son, because as a great bodyguard, the bodyguard will be loyal to his client, even more than loyal to the family. It's not a Van Diesel movie. Anyways, so they fight. Reynolds win. Meanwhile, Samuel Jackson is fighting Antonio Banderas, and also win. And something that I thought was kind of, the movie is hilarious, but something that was like,
It is.
I thought it was kind of ridiculous. Like, once the bad guy, the plan is to perforate this big data box under the sea of Italy, using a diamond drill, insert a virus to hack the systems of Europe.
Just like totally crash all of Europe's infrastructure.
And they do try that in some was Budapest, I can't remember.
So.
Ukraine. They do that in Ukraine, so they show the max potential of their plan. And so Reynolds, after beating his father, he's about to stop that from happening, and his father said, "Hey, he put a device, he put a booby trap, everything here. If you stop the virus, the boat will blow up." And it's like, you want to save Europe, or you wanna, save your life, save your friends. So he does, and everything blows up. They run
because he's a good bodyguard. He saves people. That's what he does.
Yeah, and so they jump out of the boat and they survive. And at the end, they talk to Interpol, and everything's gonna be clear. But because paperwork and all the realities of bureaucracy of the system, they have to take a boat and stay international waters for 48 hours until everything gets clear. And so they go. But before they go,
their Interpol contact hands some papers to Michael Bryce and says, hey, we got everything cleared. You get your license back. You've just got to sign here. She's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you so much. So he signs. It's great. And then Salma Hayek grabs the papers, and then she kind of comes forward and drops her. She's praying, like, thank you.
My little cucaracha.
Like, mi cucaracha. It was not a license that he signed. They were adoption papers. Because on this whole journey, she discovered that she was his mama. He needed a mama. And she would be his mama, and he was going to be her little boy.
And the whole fertility thing we find throughout the movie that Samuel Jackson is the one that has a fertility problem because he got his ball shot by Michael Bryce when he was bodyguarding someone else. So then they go to the sea where they're gonna have to wait for the system, and then the Interpol call them and tell Mike that it's gonna take a little bit longer.
It's gonna be like a month. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you can hear the screams of Samuel Jackson and the wife Salma Hayek having sex, and then Michael Bryce gives up and jumps in the sea.
Yeah, because we've had that when they said here's the yacht. It's not a big yacht.
Yeah, I would not even call that a yacht. Is that a yacht?
Yeah, I don't know what the technical definition is of a yacht, but
it's a nice boat, but I wouldn't call that a yacht.
But I wouldn't want to be with those two.
It has sails. I think yachts don't have sails, do they?
Look up what the definition of a yacht is. What is the nautical term?
Anyways, so the movie is hilarious. The movie is
funny.
Really funny from beginning to end. It's non-stop laughing. Ryan Reynolds does it again, and Samuel Jackson and Salma Hayek are only there to help. The critics are hating it, but critics, who cares?
It's a fun movie. It's exactly what was advertised. Like, first of all, it's Ryan Reynolds, so that should tell you. But like all the trailers, everything showed like this is a funny movie. This is not something serious. It's not to be taken seriously. They make fun of themselves. They make fun of the genre. It's a funny movie.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe who knows why? Because it's as good as the first one, and considering what the first one was, what the first one was set to do, and this one is set to do is to entertain and to make you laugh.
Yeah,
it's great. It's as I said, the critics are hating it and bashing it everywhere. The very few scores we saw on a special screening before the premiere, and the very few populace, audiences scores give the movie scores a little bit higher than the first one. So whoever liked the first one is liking this even more. It's great. It's really funny.
It is, and it's a great showcase for Ryan Reynolds' like particular brand of extremely dry, occasionally disturbing and inappropriate humor. And so if that's your thing, this is a great movie. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious. It's very, very funny.
Yes. A yacht, by the way, is a medium-sized craft outfitted for cruising or sailing. So it's a pretty broad definition.
It's a boat.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Hitman's wife, Bodyguard. It should be, by now, but by the time you watch this, it should be open anywhere if you go to the movies and watch. As I said, the critics are not liking it, but the audiences are loving it.
Yeah.
The movie theater was like laughing the whole time, and nobody left. Stormed the the movie theaters, stormed out of the movie theaters because it was offended by some offensive joke or inappropriate behavior. It's like Samuel Jackson was stupefied that Ryan Reynolds' father was black, or mother's woman's jokes. And anyways, it's hilarious. It's fun. Great. People are loving it. So go watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great summer blockbuster.
Yeah. About critics loving it, not loving it in audiences, loving it, the opposite is happening with Into the Heights.
In the Heights. Yeah.
The critics loving it,
it's like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, all this praise for this movie. The audience is like, they're not caring. The movie is failing. It didn't have a great weekend.
It made something like $11 million over its first weekend.
Yeah.
Which is a solid like $5 to $10 million below what was hoped for / expected.
Yeah, to the point that Quiet Place, that would be like, I don't know, third, fourth weekend, maybe fifth weekend, beat this new movie. And usually the newest, with exceptions, the big movies that stay on the top for a long time, but usually average movies like these, especially on this average situation, they still have COVID out there stopping and blocking everything. And usually the new ones like topples the
new
previous one,
takes the lead,
and this one barely competing with Quiet Place. There's therefore 3-4 weeks, which means a lot of people already saw it, but apparently there's still more people going to see it instead of going to see a new one. So
critics and reviewers are blaming this on a few things, but none of it really adds up. They're saying, well, it's because it's on HBO Max, but a bunch of other movies have been on HBO Max too and did just fine. It's because it was well advertised. That could be it.
It's not that interesting. It's a musical about this neighborhood. We have a big musical about a neighborhood. There's West Side Story. That gonna premiere soon. Directed by Steven Spielberg. So this one is already in the shadow of something bigger, something greater, something classic from the past that is being remade by a great director. So, I mean, it's like during COVID times, you have a choice to go out. You're going to think about it if you're going to go out or not. And if you're going to go out, you're going to think of your choices. I have to see this, or I could see this. You're going to see the one that I have to see it. And there's honestly, there's other options, I mean, judging by the trailer, we didn't see the movie. Maybe the movie is excellent. Maybe the movie is great.
I do look forward to this. It's a film adaptation. It's directed by John Chu. This is one of Lin-Manuel Miranda's. I think he wrote this before Hamilton, but it's a lot of that same musical style. This one's really personal to him. About like a lot of it. It's inspired by a lot of his own background. He's got some of the stars from Hamilton, so it does have like a lot of star power behind it. It's just, I don't know, musicals maybe are just kind of hit or miss. And I don't know. We'll see. I look forward to watching it.
I want to watch it too, but this one is. I know, even talked to you about going to the movies to watch it, because between that looks interesting, and Hitman's wife, Bodyguard. It's like, this is gonna be a great laugh. Yeah, but just a little link to HBO. You mentioned that this movie is available on HBO Max. This is it's about captivating, getting the audience. It's not really about maybe more people watch on the HBO Max, and that's why nobody went to the movies. Like you said, some people said, because there's a lot of movies that premiered on HBO Max or on Amazon that went to the movies, and people still went to see big time. And one thing about, just one curiosity about HBO Max holiday was Superman Day. created for the Man of Steel premiere. DC and Warner created this big event. From now on, June 12th is gonna be Superman Day. HBO Max crashed because people were watching the Man of Steel, and that's like many years after.
Yeah, that's been out for a long time.
But it's like when you get it, you get it, and people watched it because they love the movie, because it was Superman Day, and because people are pumped for Zack Snyder, Justice League, and the Snyderverse and all that, and so when it works, it works. So it's like to blame on people didn't go to the movies because of.
Yeah, I don't think that's a valid reason. I think there's just not as much.
It's like Black Widow. You have to pay, but let's say you didn't have to pay. Let's say it was Disney Plus part of the package. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would still go to see the movies, because it's an opportunity that to watch on your TV, as big as it is. You can do anytime. To go to the movies, it's they might do some reruns, some special screenings after, but it's not the same to watch the first time at the movies.
Yeah.
So
I remember when I was growing up, I have 3 siblings, and so as a family we wouldn't go to the movies very often just because it's expensive, 6 tickets and all that. So we would talk about and kind of pick and choose, and a huge part of our criteria was like, is this experience will seeing it in a theater make this more special? So something like Black Widow or Quiet Place, these like big action type films are like, there is a difference in seeing them in the theater when you have like big effects shots and things like that, versus other things are probably fine at home too, like most dramas or things like that. It doesn't really, I don't know if that's making any sense.
It does. I mean, I get it.
Some things are worth, like, if you're choosing, like, okay, I can only see a few movies, I can only see like one movie this summer, which one is it going to be? It's going to be the one where like the huge screen and the amazing sound system is going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and again, if it comes down to choice, if people didn't choose to go, it's no. It didn't get the audience as Yeah. No.
So anyway, I do look forward to seeing it, but I'll probably watch it at home. Anyway, we shall see. Should we go over to some DC news?
Yeah. Well, we have.
Well, you already mentioned HBO crashing because of Man of Steel, and that's great and exciting. Henry Cavill, the Man of Steel, has officially been seen on the set of Black Adam.
Which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
It
doesn't mean anything because he was on the set of. I think he was on the set of Shazam.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though that's not actually him.
It's not him.
At the end.
It's not him. I think it's about a contract, and I think he didn't sign a contract to be him. I'm pretty sure if for that little cameo, I'm pretty sure if they asked, he would do it. But I contractual things is like, it's not like he didn't want it, but if they use him, it would cause this whole legal entanglement. Anyways, but he was on the set of Shazam, and he was on the set of
Black
Adam. About Black Adam as well, I can't remember his name, but the guy that's gonna be Hawkman was on Zach Levi's Instagram. They took a picture together.
Oh.
I don't know where, I don't know when, but you have Shazam, Hawkman, Superman, Black Adam as they all together. Okay. And this is after the thing we comment about how he posted on Instagram how he was Henry Cavill, how he was so happy to come back to America and work with great people, and people are already speculating, like, because his agent guaranteed that they are not done with Superman. So we don't know. There's nothing official for Superman besides the I can't remember the director's name. The Black Superman project. So we don't know if it's gonna be involved. Because, with multiple Earths, that's how we met the new Superman, because Superman went dead. Maybe he inspired a new Superman. Or not. We don't know all details on that. But he's back in America, and he was seen on the set of Black Adam.
Okay. In the meantime, Emerald Fennel, who has had a great couple of years playing Camilla Parker Bowles on The Crown, and also for her screenwriting, she's been tapped officially to write.
She won
Zatanna.
the Oscar for screenwriting.
Yeah, that's right.
For Precious Girl, Promising Young
Woman.
I think that's the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great year for her. She won a bunch of awards. The movie was nominated for a lot of awards.
Yeah.
And she's gonna take out Zatanna.
Yes, I am pleased with this very much. And Zatanna's a character I've been wanting to see more live action and on screen, just because she's interesting and she hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
There are a lot of characters like that, especially in the DC universe, that I feel like as much as I'm enjoying more Batman and more Superman and all that, there's so many other characters that can be explored and brought to the screen, and so I'm happy about that. They're also working on an animation called the DC League of Super Pets, and they've attracted a huge cast of actors to voice Super Pets.
Dwayne Johnson, John Krasinski,
Keanu Reeves and Kevin Hart. Yeah.
We know that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson's gonna be Crypto.
Aww.
Yeah. But yeah, Super Pets coming soon. That sounds fun.
It does. Light, family friendly. I assume.
And DC has been doing great with animation. Not only talk about the whole DC universe animation, but also the Lego movies. Yeah,
and they've got something for every audience too. Like very adult things, like very kid friendly things. The stuff that's like in the middle. She's really good at it. Batwoman, we're finally catching up on the second season of Batwoman. And they released an image of Luke? Is it
Luke Fox?
Luke Fox as Batwing.
Yeah. It looks cool. It's the show is completely messed up considering time. It's like they have this Batverse in Gotham, and Batman is gone. But not only Batman, all the 16,000 Robins, Barbara Gordon, James Gordon, Harvey Bullock, everybody that's supposed to be in Gotham, even Bruce is gone, they're not there. So they bring in some characters, and of course the whole PR, social representation play, so they had a woman character, but now a woman also gay, the black character, and now they're gonna have a black Nightwing with Batwing, which happens way later in the books, both, and in different circumstances. It's not like they went to Gotham because the new characters come to Gotham, the old ones disappear.
That's weird to me.
Yeah, but it looks cool. It looks really cool. I honestly, knowing the character at the point we now, we just started the second season. I don't know how this is gonna work. He's just a big nerd guy. I don't see him fighting. He's mostly running when there's action.
Yeah.
So.
No, he's definitely like the guy in the chair. He's great as the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm enjoying this season a lot more than I did the first season. I think already this Batwoman is more interesting. We've already got the stepsister, Kate Kane's stepsister, whose name I've forgotten. Her character's developed in a way that I'm enjoying very much. And also, we already have a better cast of villains. We're only like 3 or 4 episodes in, if that. And I feel like we already have a better cast of villains. Alice is taking a back seat, and we have other people stepping up to fight like actual crime in Gotham and not just work out the Kane's weird issues. So I'm optimistic for the future. It had a rough start. It was a little painful, but so far so good this season, I think. Oh, and then Aquaman. We have a title.
Yeah,
for the sequel.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And
do we know what kingdom was lost?
Atlantis is the Lost Kingdom, right?
Oh, I guess.
But it could be, you know,
but we already
in the
found
show
that.
they mentioned different realms under the sea. You know, you have where Aquaman is king, where Ariel is queen. We have what else? You have
Well, like stuff about the trench and
the Little Mermaid. Yeah.
I suppose. Either way, it's another acceptable title for a sequel.
Yeah. Talk about the Little Mermaid. There was a leak, image of. There's a bunch of leaks popping up now. They're starting back into shooting. Indiana Jones. We saw Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. We saw Ian McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, we barely see him. He's wearing the Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he's covered in this black what's it called, overcoat. You only see the shoes, and he's wearing a mask because of COVID. So, but yeah, I was gonna say we did see the girl, whatever her name is, as Ariel, the Little Mermaid. Yeah.
I forgot her name. Alright, cool. Let's go over to Netflix for a few minutes. So Mike Myers has been working on a show for Netflix. It looks like it's going to be a 6-episode season, and they finally announced a title and some cast.
Yeah. What's the title?
So the title is The Pentaverate, and apparently this references a line from So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Okay.
His dad goes off about the Pentaverate as like this group, kind of an Illuminati type thing, like a group of 5 who sort of like oversee and guide and all this, you know, world events.
Okay.
On the cast,
I missed that.
Oh, okay. Ken Jeong and Keegan-Michael Key were the standouts to me.
Cool.
In the cast, yeah.
Sounds good. Has been a while since he put out any new stuff.
Well, he's making up for lost time because apparently he's going to play like 6 different characters, 7 different characters.
His usual.
It is. But yeah, why make 6 different movies when you can play 6 roles in one show?
I mean, usually like on Austin Powers is like 3 or 4. Yeah.
I haven't actually seen any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Okay. Shadow and Bone.
Renewed. No surprise. I mean, if you watch the show, but because Netflix canceled, it's the greatest show, Jupiter Legacy. I mean, great because it did great.
Yeah.
Like the numbers like up high. People loved it, and they canceled. So I guess they decided to announce, no, you're gonna renew this one.
No.
To be clear, that they're not going out canceling everything.
Yeah. They are still working on a live-action Resident Evil, and Lance Reddick is joining the cast.
Yeah, they did post a picture of like a lot of people in the cast. He's probably the most famous. So, yeah.
Who is he playing? He says he's playing Albert Wesker.
Yes.
I don't remember who that is.
Yeah, I can remember too.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, Wesker.
All right.
It's a guy,
Yeah.
and apparently he's black.
Okay. Probably has like a mysterious.
I don't know if in the games he's black, but in the movie he's gonna be black because the guy is black and there's no animation. So unless he's a monster and he's green, blue, or yellow, which I don't think so, because if he was a monster, he would not be called Albert Wesker. He would be called, I don't know, titanium or uranium or blah 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 blah.
Your detective skills are astonishing.
Just clarifying.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think we could probably also assume this character's going to have like a profound sense of like ethos and mystery about him.
Sure. Or he's going to have one line like his character on Godzilla versus King Kong.
That's right. What a waste of an actor.
Apparently it was a editing thing. He's in the original version, his role would be bigger.
Okay. Let's go. Okay, WandaVision is not getting a second season. Which I think
Good.
is pretty obvious.
Good, yeah.
That was done. It's all wrapped up, and now it's kind of sending us into the Doctor Strange movie. So
yeah, as they said, the Disney Marvel shows would be produced and should be watched as 6-hour movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I can see that. Yeah, that works.
And since after the Falcon and Winter Soldier, they would jump straight to the next Captain America movie. So I bet that one will not get a new season, unless they get a new Falcon, which they set up on the show.
They did
with the I can't remember his name, the Latino kid, just like in the books. Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
So for WandaVision, no.
Yeah.
I don't see.
I think for Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's a little bit more open. Like, just the way that all wrapped up.
I mean, they could
it's a little bit more open for a second season. But WandaVision, I feel like...
They accuse some of those characters they created in the show. No, Monica Rambeau, which she was mentioned to be on New Captain Marvel. So that one is gone.
Yeah.
Agent Young, whatever his name is. Randall Park's character, Kat Dennings' character, the Sword, but
Yeah, they already did S.H.I.E.L.D. though. I don't know.
And it was failed. Yeah.
Okay.
We saw Loki. The first one was good. It was interesting. It's they're definitely gonna use that to retcon a lot of stuff. They already started. But the show, it seems like. From the mysterious ending, it seems like they're gonna do that thing that everybody loves Loki, but Loki is a bad guy, so they're gonna find a way to make this Loki a good guy and have a Loki bad guy, which apparently is gonna be a woman, just like in the books. So, and also it's better to have two different characters, because if you have two Lokis fighting each other with the Marvel writers. Yeah, it would be hilarious if anything.
In my head, I've decided that this show is a Marvel What If.
Not yet.
That's what I said. In my head, I've decided because I can feel the retcons coming, and trying to explain away the time travel issues, and it's just bugging me already. So I've just. Because the show itself, like, if you separate it from all of that and don't try to tie in and explain and retcon things, it's a really cool and interesting, intriguing show, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, Owen Wilson versus, Loki, it's great, it's fun, but...
of course, it already has the narrative problems, it talks about there's only one timeline, it should be only one timeline, but it doesn't talk about multiverse and how,
it's already riddled with plot holes.
Yeah.
Solution, it's a what if.
But
you can just enjoy the story.
But it's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist has been canceled, but they're not moving it to the Peacock or anything. It's an NBC show. They're not moving it to Peacock, but they are shopping it around to other networks. So it's done on NBC, but it might show up somewhere else.
Yeah. It should be cool if it happens.
It would be. I was kind of surprised. I thought this one was doing well.
Sunday is tough territory.
Okay, good to know. It's not NBC's only problem.
What's
this past week? The Ultimate Slip and Slide production had to shut down.
Oh yeah, Giardia broke. What's it called? Epidemic breakout, and there's big, huge problem with diarrhea.
Diarrhea and slip and slide shouldn't be in the same sentence. I don't know that it did happen, but it shouldn't happen. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, we will leave that behind us and go to interesting Lord of the Rings announcement.
Animation. The War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
It looks interesting. I'm leery because we're off book now. Completely. This is going to be exploring the history of Helm's Deep and Helm. I forgot his whole name, but the story of Helm and those Rohirrim and all those legends about them. But as far as I know, this isn't covered in the book. So even though Philippa Boyens will be involved, this isn't like Tolkien Lord of the Rings. We're expanding beyond Tolkien now, and that's...
Which is cool, since Tolkien died, and we can have more from their age. No, it's cool to have some specialists to expand. Yeah.
Yeah, and it will be animated, and so that's intriguing, interesting. So,
I'm excited.
We shall see.
Okay.
We'll just see. So that's coming from New Line and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Okay, so I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, that's everything I got.
Okay, so that's it for this week. I'll see you next week with more. May the Force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.